Hey everybody, Beth here from Our Liberty House, and today I'm going to be starting a couple seeds and just wanted to bring you in on the process of how we have been doing it. I'm actually just starting some basil today because we started this a few weeks ago and had transplanted it out into the garden already, but 3 days later we got a hailstorm that hurt a lot of the leaves, so I'm just going to preemptively restart them just in case, because I really want some good basil this year and I don't want to get too far behind. So how we have started seeds here at Our Liberty House is we have been using this Jiffy seed starting mix this season and have really good success with it. I know a lot of like cool gardeners out there might be creating their own blend, but for me, I don't have the time for that, nor do I want to experiment with that, at least right now. So we picked this up at Home Depot and it's a good blend, had really good success. I am also going to start our seeds in 4-inch pots off the bat. If you've seen our video with the conversation of a seed start, you know why. But to just say again, we don't like to pot from the cells into 4-inch pots. In the past, we've always had issues for some reason with that change for our seedlings. And we have the space. So I know a lot of people start in cells just because it doesn't take up as much space, but for us, we don't have that problem, I guess. So we chose to just start straight into these cups. So first things first, just lay out the pots that you're going to be doing. You want to make sure that these are clean. We haven't used these before. It's the first season with these, but if next year when we reuse them, we're going to want to sterilize these prior to planting. Also, it doesn't necessarily matter what seed starting mix you use or if you use general potting soil, but what you want to avoid is anything that has been outside. We have stored this in our garage sealed up, so it's good. But if you store it into your garden or somewhere where bacteria could get inside, you just want to be leery of that because that could introduce bacteria to your young seedlings, which could be very detrimental to their growth. Also, what I like to do prior to getting my hands dirty is to label all of my seeds that I'm going to be starting. You can use pretty much any kind of label you can get your hands on. I know there's a lot of cool like DIY, like with milk jugs and things like that. I just bought these pre-made because I liked the colors and it's just easy. So I'm gonna lay out, I have 7 cups, so I'm gonna have 7 of these. And basically what I'm gonna write on the labels is what I'm planting. So I'm planting basil, what day I'm planting, and I like to put on there the brand of seeds that it's coming from, just because in case I throw away the seed packet and I had good success, I want to buy the same ones next year. So basil, San Diego Seed Company is where these are from, and today is the 21st. So I'm going to do that for all of them. San Diego Seed Company. And then once they germinate, I go back through and write the germination date on here too. And when I transplant them, I'm going to go and write the transplant date as well. If you use like a garden journal, that could probably do the same thing, but we do not do that. So I just use the plant tags that stay with the plant all season. And then I can remember for next year and kind of gauge, I guess, how long they took to grow. San Diego Seed Company, 321. Okay. So that's that. So I have these all out right over here. Also, before I get started, what I like to do is get my seed starting mix wet prior to putting it into the cups. So I ripped off the top of this bag, put it under the sink, mixed it in there with my hands, and basically what you want is like a texture of like a wrung out sponge. You don't want it too wet, but kind of like this, to where it can like hold itself together but not crumble too much. Like this could maybe even use a little bit more, but I'm gonna go with it today. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start filling these up. to gently pack it down. You don't need to get too far in there. If you use some of those like cells where it comes with the soil already and you just have to like add water to it and they expand, just get all of that prepped prior. But this is the method we use and have had good success with it, so this is what I'm going to recommend, because for some reason we've tried starting in those cells in the past and have never had very good success with it. So okay, I'll do this for now. More in that one. Okay, so I'm going to start with these three because that's about out of my seed mix. So I'll show you these three first. And then when you grab your seed packet, pretty much everything you need to know about that seed should be printed here on the back. And it's going to tell you the ideal soil temperature. So this basil is 65 degrees, which is perfect inside of our house because we keep our house at least at like 68. It's going to tell you the planting depth, the days to germination, and usually when to plant outside too. A lot of people are always curious, when should I start my seeds? Just look at the back of your seed packet. It should tell you how many weeks since your last frost date you're able to plant outside, and then figure out what that date is or around. For us here in Sacramento, it's about April 1st is our date for tomatoes. So we took that back 6 to 8 weeks for those and planted at the end of January, early February. So I'm just going to gently get a few out into my hand. And these seeds are super tiny. And if for some reason your seed packet doesn't have a lot of information on it, one easy rule of thumb when planting for depth is to go twice the depth of your little seedling. So the smaller the seed, you just want to barely cover it in soil. If you get like a bigger like bean seed, you're going to want to plant that a little bit deeper. I think that just got caught on my finger. And it's okay if you plant more than one in here. It's actually probably preferred to plant a couple in each pot, just in case something doesn't, like it's a bad seed or anything like that, because you're going to go back through and thin these out once they sprout and get a little bit bigger. So those three are done. Just going to go ahead and throw that label in there. And that's it. Now you just want to put it in a good spot under some good sunlight. Make sure to water these, and especially when they're seedlings or just seeds, like they haven't germinated yet, it's a really good idea to bottom water. So you put this into like a 10 by 20 tray and you're going to water from the bottom and let that wick up. Just because if you water along the top here, that could move that seedling, it could bury it down deeper, and you might have issues with germination with that. So really, until that seed or the seedling gets strong, I recommend bottom watering. So I'm going to go ahead and do a couple more of these, bring them back into the house, into the greenhouse where it's a little bit warmer than outside, clean up my area. If you have any other questions about seed starting, feel free to comment below. I'd love to answer your questions. We have a lot of information on Instagram right now with our seeds this year. We've had really good success, and we just want to share that information and knowledge with you guys. So like this video, subscribe. I'll see you next week.